لكم
أن تتوبوا من عيوبكم وخطاياكم تعالوا للطريق
ذا الوطن
زي الوطن زي ما نمانيس
ذا الوطن
زي الوطن زي ما نمانيس تعالوا للطريق الفجر
سيبوا
تعالوا للطريق
ذا الوطن
زي الوطن زي ما نمانيس
ذا الوطن
نمانيس
تعالوا لطريق يا أمتي الغازي يا أمة السودان
تعالوا للطريق
ذا الوطن
زي الوطن زي ما نمانيس
بلدي بلد كثير الخيرات فيه كل ثروات الزراعية والحيوانية والمعادن فكيف أكون جعان وكيف أكون عاريان وكيف أكون مرضان بدون دواء في بلدي الغنية.
10 states, 3 administrative areas, 1 nation, 1 people. Welcome to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor. This week on Fixing South Sudan, we commemorate the 39th anniversary of the founding of the SPLA, SPLM. On 16 May 1983, in Malwalichat Barracks in Bor, Major Carbino Kwanye Bol 105 Battalion defected, triggering 21 years of Sudan North-South Civil War. An estimated 2.5 million lives were lost in the War of Liberation. On January 9, 2005, the Comprehensive Peace Agreement was signed. This watershed moment paved the ground for the independence of the Republic of South Sudan on 9 July 2011. The occasion of 16 May, renamed as SPLA Day by His Excellency President General Salva Kiir Mayardit, is a time to remember the martyrs, on top of whom was our late Commander-in-Chief and SPLA, SPLM Chairman, Dr. John Garang de Mapira. In this forum, we host the Red Army of Polataka Face Foundation on their contribution to the liberation of South Sudan. What was the story of Polataka? How did it come about? It's a pleasure to welcome and introduce my panel, namely Major General Awur Mawel Malwal, former Deputy Director of Polataka Face Foundation. A pleasure to welcome him to this program. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Madingor.
Also joining us is Brigadier General Bolden Kwal, popularly known as Bolzipti by the Red Army. He's a former teacher, Polataka Face Foundation. Also joining us, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Also joining us is Cyphus Lomole Lege. They call him Mangung Lege. He's Red Army of Polataka Face Foundation. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And Peter Konichow, who was also Red Army of Polataka Face Foundation. Thanks for coming to the show. Welcome to all of you. We are speaking about our history, and that is why I'm wearing this. I was also part and parcel of Polataka. But let me take it to Major General to tell us the establishment of the Polataka Face Foundation. Welcome.
Thank you, Madingor. I came to Polataka as a request from the then Commander of Central South Sudan, General Kwalmanya, when I came from Kurmuk in 1989. I was coming to Bor, then I was nominated as a head teacher for Malek Primary School, where I remained there until 1990. That was in October when the idea of Polataka came. It was not meant as a Polataka, but it was said that the children in the then Central South Sudan should be sent to schools. As the policy of late Dr. John, he said that there will be so-called first foundation school, which is going to be open in the liberated areas. And that idea was conceived, and the message was sent to all units. Then from there, I was nominated from Malek to hit the first group of those children that were collected from various counties by then. Also, on the way, we collected some from Jamaica. And I do remember when I started my parade with I, myself, and 16 soldiers. As an officer, I was by then first lieutenant. That was in 1990, around September to October. Then from there, we arrived in Torit. The name of Polataka was not shown to us because we were not aware of where we were going. But when we arrived in Torit, we were sent to mission school. With that 612, I do remember it was like that, 612 children. Then from there, I went to Gerald Kwal, and he said, let these children be accommodated in that mission school in Torit. We remained there for 14 days, and again, Gerald Kwal came and told me that we are now to go to a place called Polataka. Then we had to move with him. With the first group, I wish there could be one member of this group who was with us in the first vehicle that arrived in Polataka. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there. So we arrived at night. That was at around 10 something at night. The place was grassy, bushy. It was a no man's land. Nobody. It was an old school, but in a dilapidated scene. The roof were off. There was no roof on the building. Everything was destroyed. But luckily enough, we set foot there and we start clearing. The first group that arrived, we start clearing the area, cutting grasses and doing all those things. Until the time the second group came, the second day, because there was only one vehicle that was making the transportation. It was an old Mercedes in a full dilapidated shape. It was very bad. But thank God it was running anyway. It can run, but the rest are not there. So we managed to reach there, and these children were being ferried until they finished it after 2 weeks, I think. Then from there, we started, the name came. Gerald Kwal came again and said, this place shall remain as your school. And it was a former mission school. Now it has been given to you, and your name will be called Faith Foundation Primary School. That was from that day it was established. And then I remained there as administrator. And the good thing was that when that idea was conceived, it was related to the public, I mean to say to the families, that we need you to contribute children, age from 7 upward. And then you also contribute a cow, a calf, to be carried with that children. So while we were on the way coming, these calves were being brought, and they arrived in Polataka too with us. They start giving birth, and now we had Polataka Diary, called Polataka Diary. So that is how the Polataka was established. And I stayed there for 6 months, and then late Savid William was brought from Marakapi. He was also in charge of another Red Army in a place called Marakapi around Kaboita. So he came and joined me, and he became the director, and I assumed the position of being administrator as well as the deputy director. That is short story about Polataka, I know.
Can you say something about the composition of the Red Army of Polataka, who were there?
Yeah. As I said before, when the message was sent to General Kwalmanya, telling him that we need to send school boys, because in Bor there was no operating school. only Malik, which was the primary, and in all the villages there was no schools. So John Garang gave that orders that all the counties should collect children. And then that was also sent to other zonal command. Like even from Bentiu, I heard somewhere to be brought. But unfortunately, something happened on the way when the batch sang with some of them. So the area that we collected children from was from Bor as well as Gemeza. So because they were close, was in that vicinity. So I managed to collect from Bor as well as from Gemeza. Those of Manguk, we collected them on the way. And then we arrived in Mangala. We trekked from Bor to Mangala on foot with those children. Some of them were as young as 6 years old. And we called them Maragrek. So when we arrived in Mangala, we came across a UN convoy bringing food to Mangala. So General Kwal gave orders to the officer in charge of that garrison in Mangala that let those children be put on those vehicles when they are returning back on their return trip to Torit. Let those children be put on their trucks and take them to Torit. So that was the only luxury we had by then after having worked for long.
And the entry of the Nubians?
The Nubians were brought later because they were supposed to come with those from Bentiu. But they also managed, General Kwal brought them because they arrived in different dates from the, as you know, Luba is very far away. So they just come to Torit, and then whenever a bunch of them arrive, General Kwal will organize a trip and then bring them to us. So there was supposed to be some from Nuba, some even from Bahr al-Ghazal, but because of the distance and maybe some difficulties along the route, some from Bahr al-Ghazal could not come. But the very few arrived and they were with us. So actually the idea was for all South Sudan, including the Nuba mountain. But because of the constraint by then of the transportation and so forth, so some could not come, but the very few arrived.
Thank you very much. And let me welcome Brigadier General Boldeng Kwal to say something about how he ended up being in Polataka. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. You see, we came abruptly to the place by the order of Kwal Manyanjuk. He gave order to all units. By that time, I'm in Korjamus, in Korjamus. I'm with some people there. It is a very good base in Jebel Bungu. We are there, many of us, but the order came to select an all teachers from that place. I'm the one who has been selected to the orders. I came to Polataka. I got those of Awur Mawel in Polataka. I got those of Awur Mawel in Polataka. And I enrolled myself in administration of that school. So they gave me my position as student affairs, and I'm a logistic by then. And I came and copied some ideas, and I became somebody through those of Awur Mawel and Comrade Sabit William. I do like to say Sabit always because he is a man. He's the founder. I can say he's the founder because he used to do things as a father. That's why me and the kids who came, I put myself first of all as a kid. By then I'm not ready, but when I reach Sabit William and Awur Mawel, I prepare myself to be. I want to be, and I want to do something, and I want to add something. So I came to them and I tried to help more. Even I want to make myself as a father, first of all, rather than to be a teacher. I make myself as a father, and they know me because when they took lunch, I used to come with my chair to their barrack inside. They are laying down in a very low position, as I know. Yesterday, there are some people whom are with me, knows everything. We began, and I hope God will let us be some people, somebody very strong people. When I got them, I used to stay behind them at night and give some stories at night. And I used to talk to them, giving many ideas how to survive, how to stay, how to forget about mother and father and what. Forgot
Counseling.
about many things.
Counseling.
Yeah, counseling. Because some of them, maybe you will get a child sitting like this, thinking about what you don't know. So you must come and awake that child and give him some words, amuse him, brought him near to you.
Even abuse them.
Yeah, maybe I used to say some words in case to wake a child up, in case to be somebody. Feel at home.
And the popular one is what?
No, when I say zifty, I told them, don't insult people. Don't insult people talking about their parents. We came very slowly to know each other and love each other. I want them to love themselves. I want them to be in a place that there are some people. There are people. They have right in any circumstance. They have right to be with people.
Can you briefly tell me something about the place called Polataka and the surrounding, the environment, even the livelihood, how the Red Army were making ends meet?
When we came to counseling and we became people, members in that place, we assigned many things. We want to do something in Polataka. Even we have made many things like cultivation. We used to cultivate for ourselves, and we used to send it to Uganda even. Those of onion and what? It's small kids. They did what they can do using their power and their mind. They make many things. And we are with them. In zero level, we are with them, making everything. They used to make their stores and what. So they became people. As Awur says, there is some cattle brought from there, and we have our cattle. Those Muragrek, each of them have a cow. To milk, a milking cow for them.
In Oba.
In Oba. They used to go putting, small kids, they used to go with their containers to that place in case to go and bring their milk. They know the color of each cow.
Thank you for that colorful experience.
Yeah.
Let me bring in here Cyphus to tell us about his journey to Polataka and his experience in Polataka. Welcome.
We South Sudan, we are the historical people. We don't forget the past. And we don't forget the current history. Actually, we are very happy today to sit together with our teachers. Not that, but we call them our fathers. The day of our joining our movement, it was difficult by then. In a one way that we were very young and we are underage, and to make the thing worse, we don't know the direction we are going to. We were collected by force, and the name was registered by force, home to home, or door to door. It was to make it possible. They collected us and they hand over us to the government. Our parents were thought the SPLA is doing bad thing, but at the end, we became now a source of the nation. By contributing in all corners of the nation duty. First of it was hard for the SPLA to get our teachers. They get back again to the barracks. Teachers, those who have a peace of mind and peace of knowledge. They also collect them and they bring them to our camp, which is Polataka. We stay for a long year without school, but lately we started our school in 1992. The classes was started from primary 1 to primary 4. Primary 4 is the highest school, higher class. So actually, we never fed up, although there is challenges, but we never fed up. They make us really to be a South Sudanese because we were a mixed tribe. There is Mandari, there is Bor, which is Greater Jongole, there is Barkajal, there is Nubian, there is Anacholi, Polataka, and Acholi of Palwer. There's Lotuka also, and the Lokoyas. Although there are few, but also there's ladies from them who have joined us in the school. Our police become farmers. Why? Because our administration was really cooperative to the people, and we really sound to the studies. We need to get education in a freedom way.
Talk about challenges. Can you speak about some of those challenges to those who did not live that experience?
So thank you. Actually, our challenges, there are so many. A few of them, that time we doesn't have enough clothes. We doesn't have enough food. We doesn't have good shelter for sleeping, and we have no road, good road to facilitate us maybe from Polataka to Torit. Always along to Torit, they are all spot, a lot of holes, and we have one vehicle who is facilitating us. That one is a tractor. So the tractor is the one taking the patient and is the one bringing the food. So if person gets sick, we have no way to take him to the further referral hospital or what, but we have to manage from there. As you see behind there, we have one doctor who is also contributing to our life, and is behind there with us. So actually, the challenges was so many.
Thank you for that brief statement about your experience in Polataka. Let me bring in Peter Konichow to tell me about his journey to Polataka and his experience in Polataka. Welcome.
I'm very grateful to be with my teachers, the people who introduced for me what we call ABCD. Actually, I joined the group into Reach Mission. When the group came from different places like Jamaica and Bor, I joined them in mission into Reach. I remember I was with two of my best friends who was with me in Turit. One is called Deng Riang Kwany. The other one was called Ajag Riang Kwany. There were two brothers. So we decided to join the Red Army, who were going to school. And we were taken to Polataka. I was in the second trip. By then we called Group 1. But the Group 1 could not go at once. So I was in the second trip. And then I was, later when we were organized into military organization, I became in Sriaula, the first company, and then Pasila Talta. And my sergeant was called Nyala Yuen by then. So actually Polataka was a very good place, lot of challenges, but that was the area where we were formed as people. As you can see us today, we learn a lot of things from the people you can see here.
What would you say was the best part of being in Polataka, looking back at those challenges, including tuk-tuk?
The most exciting one was, first of all, we experienced coldness. That place was so cold, and we did not have enough clothes. There were no shoes. We have to face tuk-tuk, something which was we did not know. But those were the challenges. But even the clothes that were brought to us later, we did not have soap. We have to use some trees and then we wash them. And the place where we used to wash them was very far, another place. We used to move and then we go and wash them there in that stream. Life was challenging in that place, but because we were many, we were able to comport ourselves. And with our teachers, who were also soldiers, they were also giving us military knowledge, and also the same time, the school. I remember we used to write just down. There were no exercise in the first place. We started ABCD on the ground. We could just make a very big circle, and then the teacher will stand in the middle, and then say, you write A, and then we'll supervise who has written his A properly. We learn a lot of things. Comrade Bol here was a disciplinarian. When you do something, he will say, Zipti. Something is not good. You have to make things right. Will not allow you to do something which is not proper. Need you to do the best thing. Need you to behave well in class and even around. So we learn a lot of things. Discipline was the first thing that I know in Polataka. Most of the JJAM there are disciplined. They learn a lot of discipline.
Thank you very much. This is Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building a new nation. I am Madingor, and with us in the program, Major General Awur Mawil Malwal, former Deputy Director, Polataka Phase Foundation, Brigadier General Boldeng Kwal, former teacher, Polataka Phase Foundation, Cyphus Lomole Lege, who was Red Army of Polataka Phase Foundation, Peter Konichow was also Red Army, Polataka Phase Foundation. We are speaking on the commemoration of the 39th anniversary of the establishment of the SPLA, SPLM. We are going to take a break and then take it to the audience. They are also participants in this show.
We are very glad
To see you today, all our teachers, we are very glad to see you today, all our...
Mamuna minnakum
Anda tubu min wayuwakum wa garayakum wa talu talu le karim
Zal watan
Zal watan zayyana manaysu
Zal watan
Zal watan zayyana manaysu
Utal
talu 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 le karim
Si butal
talu 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 le karim
Zal watan
Zal watan zayyana manaysu
Zal watan
manaysu
Utal talu 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 le tarib utal Oh ya ummati al-ghazi ya ummati sudanuna
talu talu le karim
Zal watan
Zal watan zayyana manaysu
Yarang pandan Sudan bulwele real pio panda panda Well by SPLA Well by Sudan John Garang SPLA Nyon Bang SPLA Kolmayan SPLA Umur Bang SPLA 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 Panda 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 Yamar oye Yo yamar oye Oye
birwa wadam la budam Oksam billahi ya shabi Oksam billahi ya shabi Daiman amberto rejamus wa tarik burjuaziyah نتقدم يا بلادنا وطارق برجوازية نتقدم يا بلادنا هيب سورة هيب شاكية يا جيش تحريرنا
يا رب تحريرنا
يا رمز جاموس يا تحرير السودان أبدا من نصر لشندي لكل سوداننا يا ابن جنوبنا ويا ابن الغرب استرارنا أرضنا طيبة ويا بنتي وطنا طيبة يا نيل وطنا العزيز وطنا طيبة ويا بنتي وطنا طيبة يا نيل وطنا العزيز وطنا طيبة ويا بنتي وطنا طيبة وطنا طيبة ويا بنتي وطنا طيبة
Dabuloi dang jab dan Sudan jaga gwira piak Dabuloi dang jab dan dari dang iji jor jon garang
Mabira ye benda Sudan ye morngang nom
Buloi ni jam
Bone mere jala do pinden
Kadia miar
Bai jaga dam kartumia Hamsa jaga dam juba Dam koryom malakal kurang
Galo gaya Kujal go ujung
Jaya satu saat Jaya siale Arana jadar Ajira mandere jaya nimer songki
Dabuloi dang jab dan dari jaga gwira piak Dabuloi dang wadan dari dang iji jor jon garang Mabira ye benda
Sudan ye morngang nom
Buloi ni zambu ni meri jalala pianden kadia miar bai jaga dam kartumia kam sai jaga dam juba ujaga dindia jaga dirawa
Penyebar kasal
udam korya
Malakal kurang baloi jaya
udam
Ujung jaya satu
saat mas na su ku wil jenya SPLA awo na dia dara chila mango jenya something amen ni me ja mo ye chu wa bijana lugar won wala dong wa de wer jilwe lonte
Ejilele deng nyai wanam ka mo juru matyang ke bai wario wadia padan junub jal ku medal ku korlu wa bijana luger wana wala dong wadia
jal jo bendo ku
dil ke ping ku korlu
wa bijana luger wana wala dong Karya da
Tuangaria weni jam junub ke kon wadia rianda na terbai bukut
SPLM
anyanya da chin ngol ku chor ke bai wario wadia
Sudan ku yo ni mer sine ga moy bijar wa bijar na duge wana wala tong wadia ka kol ku ruer ku yo ni mer sine ga moy bijar wa
bijai ni luger wana wala tong
Jal jo bendong ku
dil ke ping ku korlu
wa bijar na duge wana wala tong wadia ngi tu kala taw ke kala san lo ken ke lo
Wai bera liam nam de
lad nyan du
cha ke cha jan سنين طويلة بنطالب الحقائق ونقول هنالك الزور وانت ليلة تتطالب الحليبكم شيء مستحيل شيء مستحيل نقول لبلادنا
روحنا ودمنا
لبلادنا
روحنا ودمنا
مدفوع
ميعادي وجبال
مدفوع
ميعادي وجبال
أضرب استمرارنا بالبريد انتصارنا
نناداكم وجبات
انتظامنا منكم
أن تتوبوا من ويوكم وكراياكم تعالوا
انتظامنا منكم
أن تتوبوا من ويوكم وكراياكم تعالوا للطريق
إذا الوطن
زي الوطن
زي ما نعيش إذا الوطن
زي الوطن زي ما نعيش تعالوا للطريق
سيب وتعال
تعالوا للطريق
زي الوطن زي الوطن
زي ما نعيش
زي الوطن
زي الوطن
وتعال تعالوا لطريق سيب وتعال أين بجالد يا أمتي الغازي يا أمة سوداننا يا أمتي يا أمة سوداننا علي وتعال سيب وتعال انتهينا.
This is an honoring poem. It is dedicated to our liberators, both the soldiers and the civilians. Now, listen. I honored you, our veterans. I honored you from 1955 to 1972, and of 1983 to 2005. I salute those who are alive and I respect and honor those who are dead. May their souls rest in glory. Because without you, they would have no gain of a victory. And for your certainty is the fight of humanity. Justice, liberty, and prosperity comes as land of unity. And behold, South Sudan is a home to veteran soul with no doubt. Heroes and heroines, you are the torch and the light of this nation. Due to starvation you will own. You defend our nation. You defended our nation with love and humanity that was built inside you. So, comrade, tabitakun kan maru, kamotoro, alkupa vidar, kambelila, ukamambre, altakunakolo mudun mula, unum figaba fikanadik, mudun mesia, mudun moyene dif, ile besi, waja chade chapi, ya ukan maruf, lakini takun masibu, ashanena biligo, uriya zahalela. So shukran. Shukran to our veterans. Shukran mindum takun al-kubu, ashan beleb Junub Sudan. And even though some lost their lives and left wounded, you will never be forgotten, but remain as a hero for the victory and the freedom that you brought to us. I am a South Sudanese soldier. I am the face and the eye of my country. Shukran.
Mamuna minnakum
anda tubu min wayubakum agarayakum watar talu le karim
zal watan
zayyana manaysu
zal watan
zayyana manaysu talu le karim
si
talu le karim
zal watan
zayyana manaysu
zal watan
manaysu
talu le qarib tal oh ya ummati al-ghazi ya ummati Sudan
talu le karim
zal watan
zayyana manaysu.
Welcome back to Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Adingor. We are speaking on the commemoration of the 39th anniversary of the founding of the SPLA, SPLM, 16 May 1983, Malwalichat Barracks, Mading Bor. And with us in this forum are Red Army of Polataka, teachers, and most of whom were also students. And later on, they will tell us what were their contributions. I want to take it to our participants who are in the audience to tell us more about the Polataka experience. Welcome to all of you. And with us in the panel, Major General Awur Mawel Malwal, Brigadier General Boldeng Kwal, First Lieutenant Cyphus Lomole Lege, and also Major Peter Konichow. We welcome you back once more, but first let's hear from some in the audience. I'll give it to Fanan first to give us a song. You're most welcome. You can say your name and then you sing the song.
Jajamerwaye.
Amerwaye.
Jajamerwaye.
Amerwaye.
SPLA.
SPLA.
It is our common name we remember for our liberation up to this time. As I'm standing here, I've been a seat for the foundation of this country. My name is Samuel Manyok Mabior from Polataka, Red Army. Ye John Garang, Pandan Sudan, John Garang, Pandan Sudan, Bulwil Kede, Panda, Wall will buy SPLA, Wall will buy Pan Sudan, John Garang SPLA, Kuala Manyang SPLA, Kuala Mayan SPLA, Urban SPLA, SPLA, SPLM, panda. John Garang, panda na Sudan. John Garang, panda na Sudan. Bulwel pure panda. Walwel by SPLA. Walwel by Pan Sudan. John Garang SPLA. Kuala Manyang SPLA. Kuala Mayan SPLA. Urban SPLA. SPLM. Panda. We remember our general who was teaching us and taking care of us, General Peter Awurmawil. So we really remember you. Up to this junction, we still recognize one another as colleagues. We still appreciations of what they done to us from young age up to this moment. Our colleague brothers, let's remember the SPLA, how it began, and how SPLA struggled up to this junction we are. One of the best things I have to recognize first is our colleagues, Brother Madingor. My brothers, here to the SPLA, which has been changed today to SSPDF, it is one unit. The name of SPLA will never die. You remember John Garang brought out the vision with the SPLM together, telling the South Sudanese we have to for the country, and we have succeeded. So I think the name South Sudan will never die again. That was the feast which was given to everybody, and we can still remember. Let me remind you about Polataka, how we start. Polataka, I was chosen 1987 to Bongo, and I could not manage. And as Manyok is standing today, Kolmanyang resist and said, this young boy will remain with me. And by then, I left 1987. And earlier, November 1989, I was told, your time has come. And this is how I moved without fear up to today. When I joined to Malwal Chad Barracks, whereby I got Chuar March. I remember where is he now, I can't remember, but it was Chuar March, Talimjel Kuntapi Malwal Chad. So we joined the group, and there we stayed until the contribution of Red Army joined together, and we were mobilized from Malwal Chad to where we met our colleagues at Jamesa from Mundari. And these children could not manage to talk to Dinka dialects, and we could not manage to talk to Mundari dialect. So I remember two young men. The tall one is called Gaya Warjuk. I can't remember, I don't know, where is he now? And the second one was the young boys from Marek. It was from Marek, then it's called Manguglege, the common name. So they could interpret it, the language, and translate to understand one another. When we reached to Tori, when we got Commander Kuala Mom and Commander Nguyen, we were gathered together as South Sudanese, and we do not know each other from Red Army. When we met there, Nuba were brought also, and Nuba used to add the, which is monitor lizard. So there, when we were mixed, some of us feel afraid. We will die because these people eat things we can't eat. That was the first story in Tori when we were mixed. It was too difficult to understand one another because of the language. At least, few of Nuba, a number of Nubian, young Red Army knows Arabic. And among from Dinka and from Mandari couldn't manage to speak Arabic, and there was no another way of communicate to one another. So we appreciate our colleagues, although they are very far from us today. Those Nubian try to teach us a lot how to survive in the bush. That's one of the major things and one of the challenges we face. When we were mobilized in 1990, the first grouping mix-up were too difficult, and we abused our leaders that, why are you missing us? This is wrong. And they were giving us the right directive to know one another. And this is how we encouraged to know Arabic by then. So when we were mobilized again to Polataka, whereby it was bush, no people, even no civilian who were living there, we got Polataka, was a main center which was built years before. There, when we got Polataka, Polataka was a fertile land. We could not manage because of coal areas. It was too cold to us, and we didn't have clothes. Others came naked, especially those from Mundari. A number of us came naked without clothes. And we got advice from our teachers that young people get a sex, wear as a cloth. Cut a sex, a bag of maize into half. Lay down as your mattress for sleeping. At night, you put up on your backs, then you cover it. You manage the coldness of the areas of Polataka. You know, Eastern Equatoria, at least few of the areas are really very cold. There, we managed until our colleagues from Pransa, we call Abuna, start bringing clothes. And we were given a uniform first, one by one. Another clothes were brought again, were given to each, and we become having clothes. There, we got few of actually at the area. And if they move at morning, they greet us. And we are from their language because we started knowing their language. And they say, this is the only language first we got when we communicate with actually people. Evening hours, we ask them, they say, This were the thing we got from learning South Sudan, and we become knowing these are our people.
Thank you.
And by then, few of the cattle was brought to Jechamer, special Marerek. And then there, the group were divided from Triarula, Trialtani, Talta, Raba, Kamis, Sadiks. And then we were from west of Polataka, Trial Talta, Trial Tani, whereby I have seen my comrade here who take care of me indeed at the school and at the training.
Thank you.
Boldapti is
you
here.
very much.
I'm Dr. Abraham Dauriak, the founder of Clinical Officer of FACE Foundation. Why I say so, Polataka, there's my colleagues before talk, Comrade Awurmawel and Boldipti and Comrade Madingor and Mangoglege and some others. It is a good pleasure today to commemorate on date 16 in our anniversary of the SPLA, SPLM. We, SPLA and SPLM, and J Chamber particularly, we will remember this day because this day is a good day. And first of all, I will thank our leadership whom are now arranging this venue. And also, I will give my salute and my warm greeting with our lost comrade whom are fighting before and they lost their life of this country. Without their blood shed, there will be no independence. And we will mention our comrade, late Dr. Garang Dimabior, with his colleagues and so many commanders. Today, we can also thank Comrade Salva Kiir Mayardit, who is now driving the ship of the SPLA, SPLM. Today, I'm standing here because on behalf of my professional. Red Army, it was a huge number of 3 groups. There was group called Maregrek, and there is group called Jejamer, and there was group another called Musalain. This group, this huge number, you cannot gathering them without clinical facilities because the number, it was very huge. And they established 2 camps. The first one, it was Mole Tokoro and Borongle. And then they went also to make another one in Polataka. So these 2 groups, you cannot gathering the student or the pupils whom are underage without medication. So therefore, the leadership of the government, by effort of Commander Kual Manyang, he have really give a very good effort, and he select some very, very clever teachers. And he got Comrade Awur Mawil, as before he said, and also Comrade Savet William, led Comrade Savet William Garang, and Awur Mawil, who was administrator. Awur also, he make recruitment for the teachers. He bring a lot of teachers, and also Comrade Kual tell him that, okay, now we bring these pupils, and now we get the teachers. What about medication? And this is why they established the clinic for Faith Foundation. They make one in Molataka, Brongle, and they start another one. They make it in Polataka. So my contribution, if I go on behalf of my contribution, in fact, I did my contribution because we established the clinic. And we make the clinic because the area of Polataka or area of Molataka, it was very cold. And there is a lot of disease. There is Giga, there is bronchopneumonia, there is coughing, there is measles, there is malaria, and there is a lot of diarrhea. And also we have a chicken pox. So from there we managed to treat these children. And also I make effort because there was no enough nurses. I recruit some students from that group so that I teach them and then they become nurses. They used to give me also a help. They will make dressings, they will give medications, and some of them they will make another job. And also we get some boys from Acholi, somebody called James Longaya, and there are some other boys from Jejamar, somebody called Zakaria Alier. Also, I have another one, Ngongaluong, which is Pandingong. We also, there is somebody called Deng Maraj. He's now here. So they were really very young, but I tried to teach them and then to give some effort also to help me during when I work, because I make diagnose. And also during that time, the area was very cold. We make a dormitory. And we established the bed. The way we make beds for admission, we just cut the bamboo and we make some poles and we clean it very well, and then we dig the ground and then we make the grass as a mattress before we never get the mattress. But after 1 year, we got a consignment from Dr. Ostrisky. There is one called Dr. Ostrisky. He's from Poland. He's the one who gives us supply from medication. He brings a mattress. He brings clothes. And also an instrument for the hospital of the Faith Foundation. That was our effort. So during that time, it was very hard. There's a lot of constraint. Because a big number, without medication, without dawa, these people will not survive.
Thank you very much.
So thank you, Madingor.
Thank you.
This is what I will want to edit for you.
Thank you.
And I will thank also all Judge Hammer now. They become doctors. They become lawyers. They become like Madingor now. So the effort what we did with Comrade Awur Mawil and Bolzipti and other teachers like Ayorgon, and other teachers like Aliarwala, some other teachers, Shuarmaj. So we have really germinated a very good asset. Without our service as a teachers, without service as a doctors, there will be no these graduate doctors and engineers.
Thank you.
So now this is a good job for us.
Thank you very much.
So we should have to be rewarded, by the way.
Thank you
very much.
Pak isimi James Agau, Gawagau. Ana jijamur beta Polataka. Pak wakijina taban da mamura kan sahab sedit. Wana sa hayarta bolzipti gay yao rabuna. Ana besok rabuna. Taban awlium ne jina gabalo. Min farang na min yum dagda. Pak ele Comrade Awur yao gabalna. Anu hanena gay dinena. Pak ana musur sedit. muktamar bitalela da is very vital, is very important. Brainstorming is better than lamantegu saget. Da ma jamar kullu algadin da nas bukun sama al-kabar. Uji jamar katira. Jamar katira. Hatta deli kun ma jama. Jama bitana bita jamar lamantelga fasila 50 something. Fasila bitana sajamar kan 50 something yamata. De kan de ya shukul bita jamar. Fa lama naqul gal albadaya kan sab lama nikallam min mamuriya lakat Polataka ويوب أنا لقيناه دي أبو قولوا رجالية وأنا متذكر أنا كان ما بقدر بنقول عليه ده أنا له زمن ده لكن ده بقول أنت لو أروك حسابك يا قلبك لو جوي بكلك تله زمن ده ويا هو كيسة بتاعك بكون كويس فناس الجامعة لما نكون يوم الليلة ده الناس كبار جنرال أور جنرال أور alguna bitagivel bugul gala hur banya SPLA yamata ita kan ma banya ita kan ma lemma walisa lakin alela da ta bigit bany de haw bukura bune akan kal guna de kuna alela da ta bigit bany ya haw bol jibtu kan ma lemma wal bardo asa bigit da bergadia de haw banya alela da ويتمال ربنا ممكن يغير تاني يجيب هذا تاني لقدام فادرينه ده يكون تراب بتاعنا بتاع بولاتاكا
شكرا لك
فأنا قاعدين ده أنا بشكر تكم حاجات الكويس أننا عملناه ولقيناه ليش أني تكم ما لقيناه ساكت لو يتو كان ما في شين ما في يوم بتاعي ده واحد كان بدقت شغله واحد كان بمشي ماله ديرو لكن يتو كان قاعد معنا وقاعدين ورونا حاجات الكويس وحاجات الكابل بيعملوا ليه حاسد ده فالإنجليز قرناه في تتشجاري متى ده dia baka jab na sasa biga hindu jamada ya fiu lokola ada rutan da biga isi mitana bara hina witu ma barifino biga diktora sada de jamar ta Polataka fa da haja president
shukran
da haja president
thank you very much. This is Fixing South Sudan, your ideas for building the new nation. I am Madingor, and with us in this program Major General Uhuru Mawil Malwal, former Deputy Director of Polataka Face Foundation, Brigadier General Paul Denkwal, former teacher, Polataka Face Foundation, First Lieutenant Cyphus Lomole Lege, Red Army, Polataka Face Foundation, Major Peter Konichow, Red Army, Polataka Face Foundation. We speak on the commemoration of the 39th anniversary of the SPLA SPLM, 16 May. On this program and in this media, Terap Media. Terap, the seat of the nation, is the media. I want to wrap up with my panelists. I'm sorry for those who did not get chances, and I would like to ask about the contribution, the ultimate, what you say is the ultimate contribution of Polataka to the story of the SPLA, SPLM. What can you say about that?
Thank you so much, Madingor. Actually, Polataka was the rap of the people of South Sudan. The people of Polataka, you can see now in South Sudan, they are working in different areas. In the military, you could see me as a major here. Some of my friends you can see down there are truck drivers and others are doing great things. For example, in media like Badingor and many walk of life in South Sudan, I could say if there was nothing, that idea of Polataka, I think those people would not be able to do those, fill those capacities in the nation. So, Polataka has contributed a lot to the nation. That idea has succeeded, and we have to, on such a big day, we will say the success of our liberation and the success of many accompanying ideas that were built into the liberation that will later transform our country. So we were called terap. The Jejamer were called the seeds. And as you have seen, the seeds have germinated, and many things are being done in the country by the so-called seed of that time, the Red Army. So thank you very much.
Thank you. First of all, I have to put forward the legacy of our teachers and our guidance. We didn't lose it. It is still alive. What we have gained in this old suffering, we have said that we are a seed, and we make the meaning of seed to be a seed. We are working in all corners of the South Sudan as a country in a different occupation. Some of our colleagues, they are lawyers. Some of our colleagues, they are doctors. Some of our colleagues, they are signalists. Some of our colleagues, they are drivers. All sectors of the country we are deployed in. That is the first success.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And let me bring you in here, discuss on what you think is the impact of Polataka that you nurture from those things.
Thank you. As I know, I'm still rolling with them in my life. I'm seeing them, monitoring them. There is many children from different directions came to South Sudan. One of them is Red Army, and I'm still with them, and I know their direction. They cannot move away like a gabash with a stream. No, they are still firm in their positions as I'm seeing them now. There is many breakaway children, breakaway thinking, breakaway life in South Sudan because of life. Life is very bad. But Jayamar is still firm in their position. They are waiting for a very good light, and that light is coming, and they are waiting for it in a very nice way of life, because all the children in South Sudan has been breaked away. They are doing things, bad things. They are petting up. They surrender themselves. But Red Army is still firm in their position, as I know. Like Emmanuel Kembe said that Murka Mashe, Mashe. This word is not for all Sudan and South Sudanese. It's for my boys, Red Army. Because I know all people who came from America, came from where, they have lost their life now. All of them are moving at random, but Jejamar is stand firm in their position, waiting for that day. There is a day, my boys, and that day all of us are waiting for it in a very good way. We have Mahia, Mafi Shinu, is still go on, and God be with you.
Thank you very much. And the same general, the impact, contribution, Polataka to South Sudan.
Thank you for being on. I'm the most excited person in this panel. Why? Because the product of my own making, they are now all over the world. And I would like to thank Polataka boys, all. Although now some of you have grown and become old men like me, but you were boys by then. So what you did is something that one could not have good words to say. Because none of you were failed. So many Red Armies, some of them failed. Some of them become whatever. like what is happening now in diaspora, the so-called lost boys. But for Polataka boys, you are not lost boys, you are loved boys. Because all of you, nobody from you have failed. Even the few who have remained here, they are now officers in the army. This could have been said these are the failed group, but they have not failed. So I want to tell you the idea. I would thank the late president, late CNC, Dr. John Garang, for being a visionary leader. Because without him being far away, beyond his even life, he would have not been today. Because it was his idea that children should be collected and sent to school, knowing that this day, if you were without children like you in school, what would have been the future of this country? So I thank that visionary leader, and we hope to have so visionary leaders to think far beyond their life.
Thank you, and let me just end on the memory of 16 May and why it is important to remember. Beginning with you, briefly, why it is important to remember the martyrs on top of whom the late Dr. John Garang.
Thank you very much, Madingor. Actually, this 16 May is a day that brought the country that we have today, the South Sudan. So without the 16 May, we wouldn't have started the journey that took us 21 years, and then that ended successfully with the achievement of a young nation, the South Sudan. So that's why it is very important to remember the 16 May, because that was the start. And seeing that journey, we have lost a lot of people. We lost our people, including the leader of SPLA, Dr. John Garang, plus many of our colleagues, including the Red Army. As we talk, we went to school as children, but later when things were becoming hot, we were involved and we lost some of our comrades. Our Red Army comrades, we lost them in the war. So that's why when it comes to a day like this, we think of how we were moving, the people we lost along the way, and where we are today.
Thank you.
We have to look back at those
Thank
things.
you.
Thank you so much.
And the same question, the memory of 16 May, why it is important.
Actually, 16 May, for myself and on behalf of our comrades, 16 May is a key to our freedom, a key way to our freedom. If we wouldn't did the 16 May, or if our leader, the late, didn't defect at that day, we wouldn't know our rights and freedom. So 16 May is a key way to our freedom. Thank you.
Thank you. The same general, the memory of 16 May.
16 May, as I know, is like a duration of life at home, even. Like now, if you have many set of things at home, you want to clean them always. You used to bring soap to clean utensils, hijack to be shine again. So 16 May is a set of changing or making life better again, to make memory of what you begin from where and where are you going. You must think twice always to make the life be changed through 16 May. That's what I know. Without 16 May, we cannot make memory to what we came from where and we are going where.
Thank you. The same.
Yeah, for me, I could say when they say if there is no history, then there is no country. So I think the 16 May, although some of our politicians are not happy about it, I don't know why, but without 16 May, there wouldn't be in South Sudan. So there must be a place where we start. We start the history of the 16 May, unless they have their own history. But if it is the history of this country, then we have two important occasions. One is the 16 May, and the other one is July 11 for independence. But for them, I don't know, they consider one. Without that one, I think July could have not come if there was no 16. So 16 Day, as I say in the other day, last year, the commemoration of the 16th of 2021, I say thank you, Red Army, for remembering the politicians who are trying to forget the beginning of our history, for reminding us. Because it is you now who is here reminding us. Continue doing so, because this is where our history started. Thank you very much.
And who do we remember?
We remember those who fired the first bullet, starting from late Carbino Kwanyinibol, and then come to late William Nyon in Ayut, and then come to the other martyrs, including the late Dr. John Garang at the end, who has culminated all the martyrs.
And that brings us to the end of the forum. And with us have been Major General Uhuru Mawel Malwal, Brigadier General Woldeng Kwal, First Lieutenant Cyphus Lomole Lege, and Major Peter Konichow, and the rest of you who have joined us. Thank you, Polataka.
Thank you, thank you, Madina. Mayo baby nimpia the tem di wala wa your mafia yene ni meri yene waya ga yuka bi bai suda enang tiam chul chirwa yen di tor bi en sora dan SPLA SPLM baby nimpia the tem di wala wa your mafia.
Thank you very much.
Namuna minnakum
Anda tubu minwayu wa kumagaraya kumwata talu le karim
Zelwatan
zayman manaisu
Zelwatan
zayman manaisu
Utal
talu le karim
Sibutal
talu le
Zelwatan
zayman
Zelwatan Utal talu le tarib Utal Oh ya ummati al-ghazi ya ummati Sudan
talu le karim
Zelwatan
zayman